Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
So let's dig in. We want to know all about you. Like Omar said, I've been watching some of your content as well, and it's actually pretty interesting and funny. So where were you born? Where are you from? Tell us about your family, your culture, brothers, sisters.
Born in New York.
Sisters.
Born in New York Hospital.
Okay.
Yeah. Raised in Manhattan. My mom was raised in Manhattan. My dad was raised in Brooklyn. My mom's parents, I think, were raised in Manhattan. My dad's parents in Brooklyn. Great-grandparents from like Russia, Belarus, Poland, that area. So I am an East European Jew.
Okay.
My blood is Jewish.
Right.
So my real last name was Andorsky. So my great-grandparents, it was Andorsky, and they changed it in the early 1900s to Andors because Jews couldn't get work back in the day. But now I'm thinking about changing it back so I can get more work. You know what I mean?
Isn't that ironic?
Going back to the roots. And so you were born in Manhattan. Did you grow up in Manhattan as well? Or was it?
Yeah, I grew up on the Upper West Side until I was 7 on 102nd between Broadway and Amsterdam. And then my parents moved to, I don't want to say the year, but they moved to 89th Street. My mom's still there.
Oh, wow.
Rent control apartment. My dad lives on 90th, a block away, stalking her. But they still hang, you know. They still go out to eat and stuff.
They like each other?
They're okay. Yeah, they're all right. They fight all the time, but there's an attachment there.
That's
a deep
good.
attachment, and probably us, their kids, is probably the main attachment. But yeah. So my dad, they met in acting school.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
Yeah, they met. I think it was at Lee Strasberg. I'm not sure, but that's where they met. So my family's been in the arts for a minute, so they were very accepting of me, becoming an artist. My mom.
What did they do?
Say it again.
What did they end up doing artistic wise? What did they do?
Nothing. They ended up giving birth to me and quitting.
I
ruined their lives. Yeah, I ruined their lives.
We're done. Okay.
Yeah, we need to work now and support this little brat. So, so my dad was a diamond setter. My grandfather was a diamond setter. He went to Cornell, and he graduated with I think he majored in chemistry, but they ended up diamond setting. You had to work, whatever. Yeah. So my dad worked with him on 47th Street for years in a little office, uncomfortable office. I worked with them for a little bit, for a minute. I hated it. And then years later, my dad, the business started to go out of business around 1999, 2000, and my uncle invented a dog washing machine.
Oh, really? That's neat.
Yeah, called Hydro Surge, and you pretty much reuse the same 2 gallons of water, and it filtered it, so you didn't waste water. And then he invented the shampoo and everything. He's a dentist.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, it worked on my dog had mange. I had a pit bull. I got a pit bull from. I pretty much moved out. I was living at home until I was like 20. And then I'm like, they didn't want to get me a dog. So I'm like, I'm going to get an apartment so I can get a dog.
Right.
And I was always, whenever I was focused on something, I made it happen, So I left, and there was this hippie that I knew from Central Park. He used to always be at the Sheep's Meadow by Tavern on the Green. And I remember he had this dog. I wanted to get a boxer, and then I see him show up with this little 4-month-old puppy. I'm like, what the hell is that? That's a pit bull. And I always heard pit bulls were the devil,
Right.
It was the cutest dog I've ever seen. It was named Pandora, and I watched Pandora grow up. And then years later, so this was when I was maybe 16 or something. And then years later, when I was 20 and I wanted to get that boxer, I found out Pandora was pregnant. By this other ugly pit bull named Samson. Samson had a huge head, and Pandora was beautiful, so it was like big. So, and the hippie was like a really big like weed dealer back in the day, like that. That was he made a ton of money doing that. And then so I said, you know what, I want to get one of those puppies. So then I remember we went to the house, and I wanted a beige one, and I see this little black one staring at me. So anyway, I don't know how I got into this story.
No, go ahead. This is good.
We're talking about Hydro Surge.
Hydro Surge. That's right.
Yeah, but that little puppy grew up to be a really loyal pit bull. Huh?
Okay.
I was going to say, did Samson, the ugly pit bull, and then Pandora make a cute baby?
Oh yeah, Apollo.
That's how it goes, you know.
I named my
Ugly,
dog
cute,
Apollo. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
seriously.
cute kids. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I agree.
So tell us a little bit about your grandparents and your relationship with them. I mean, they came from the at that time when they came in, there was a lot of resistance.
Well, they grew up in New York.
They grew up in New York.
My great grandparents, I didn't know. They didn't grow up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
they were born in Eastern Europe.
And what about your grandparents and your parents? That relationship and you growing up, how was that?
We were very close. We would always I was never a religious Jew, but I celebrated the holidays with all of them.
Mhm.
So we would go to we'd always use it as an excuse to get the family together, but we wouldn't really do the whole prayer. Like usually it's like 3 hours of prayers. We do like the Cliff Notes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Versus like the Jews escaped Egypt, let's eat. That was kind of our religion. And I had my bar mitzvah for the cash,
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
and to make my grandmother happy. So I had the bar mitzvah. We were breakdancing at the bar mitzvah.
Mhm.
Oh.
I remember we had a battle there.
Oh,
Nice.
And so I didn't grow up religious, but I grew up, I claim, I'm proud to be Jewish,
right.
Mhm.
Right.
but my heart right now, which we'll talk about later, is
Yeah.
somewhere else right now.
Yeah.
I just like, it's really like, I'm New York. That's what I am. I'm New York culture. New York is a melting pot of all cultures.
Mhm.
So that's my religion, is just, I'm everything. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm a chameleon because I grew up in public schools with everybody.
Yeah.